Okay, one more video, and this one is going to be on making a form. Remember, if you go out to the Cyberspace and Society website, you go to Virtual Labs, go to the last lab, that'll take you to this page, and from here you can click on the word form, and it shows you the sample form that we made in class and the explanation on how to do everything. So in this video, I'm going to build this form from scratch so that you can see it one more time. You can watch the video and pause it just in case you get stuck with something. But I'm not really going to explain it much. I just want to build it quickly as possible. You can always come back here and read everything. But remember, when we make our form for the website, you need to include each one of the 5 types of form components: the text field, the radio group, the list menu, the checkbox, and the text area. Alright, so let me go ahead and build that out. I'm just going to open up one of the fake pages. You could have a form on a page where it's just a form, or you can put it in here in a page like this where you have a lot of information plus the form. Either one is okay. So I'm going to start my form right here, and remember, the first step is to click on Insert, Form, Form, and that's going to give us the red box. Inside of that red box, that's where I want my table. So I'll click on Insert Table, and because I'm asking 5 questions, I'll need 6 rows. It's going to be 2 columns, 1 column for the questions and 1 for the answers, and I'll make this 100% width. That's 100% of the outer table, which in this case is 1,000 pixels, and my border will be 0, my padding will be 5, and my cell spacing will be 0. So once I have all those numbers in there, I hit OK, and it gives me my table. And now it's always a good idea to just type in all your questions. So name, beverage, then we have the favorite color. Question number 4, we're telling people to check box if they like mangoes. And then we're asking for comments. And then this last row is going to be for our buttons. I'll drag this middle line over, and now it's just the process of putting in all those form components. So I'll start off with the text field. It's going to be Insert, Form, Text Field. The ID, I'm going to put name, because that one word best describes this question. I don't want a label tag because I already have a label here, so I'll put no label tag and then hit OK. Once my text field's in there, I come down to the bottom and I put in a width. I'll make this 50 characters wide, and that's really it for the text field. For the beverage, this is going to be the radio group, so I click on Insert, Form, Radio Group. This is going to have the name of beverage. Remember, with the radio group, they don't have ID. Instead, Dreamweaver gives it the word name, but ID and name in this case, they're the same thing. And then I just put in my labels and values. The label is what shows up next to the little circle next to the radio button, and then the value is what comes back in your email. So for the first one, I'll put coffee and coffee, and then tea and tea. And then for my other 2 choices, I need to click on this plus sign 2 times. Alright, and now I can go in and type in both and both, or neither and neither. But like I said in class, if you want, you could always put in things like water, juice, soda, diet soda, or nothing. You just want to make sure that everyone that comes to your form can answer the question. So with these 4 options, everyone can answer the question. I'll keep this on line breaks. I'll hit OK. And then if I don't want it to be vertical, what I would have to do is take out those line breaks. For the red box, it looks like my table's outside the red box. Remember, it's really not. If you take your mouse and you click outside of your main table, then everything will adjust itself. Alright, so to get rid of those line breaks, I just click on the right hand side of the word coffee and then hit delete. Click on the right hand side of the word tea and hit delete. Click on the right hand side of the word both and then hit delete. And that's the delete key, not the backspace key. Then I come down here to favorite color, and once again, this will be Insert, go down to Form, and this time it's going to be the list menu. If you're using an Apple, if you're using a Mac, it'll just say select, I believe. But here it says select list menu. This ID will be color or favorite color. Remember, for the ID it has to be one word, so multiple words squished together as one big word, or separate the words with underscores. Those are your only two options. So I'll put fave underscore color. Once again, no label tag. Now what I need to do is go in and put in all of those options. So down here at the bottom in your property inspector, you click on list values, and then what we need to do is start off with instructions like choose your color. And then if somebody leaves it on that, I'll have this come back on my email as person did not choose. And then it's pretty easy. You just go in and put in all of your options that you want in that list menu. I don't have to click on the plus sign. I can just hit tab and then type in my colors. Alright, and I'll just type in a few colors. But to finish it off, I'll put other so that, once again, everyone can answer that question. Once I hit OK, that shows up down here at the bottom. It's asking me which one do I want to be initially selected. I'll choose the instructions, choose your color. For the checkbox, I just put my insertion point in front of the letter C of check and then click on Insert, Form, and Checkbox. And for this, I'll put the word mango as the ID and hit OK. And then down here at the bottom, all I really need to do is put in what should come back in my email if somebody puts a check mark in there. And in this case, since I'm asking basically, do they like mangoes? If they put a check mark in there, I'll say person likes mangoes. It's asking me, do I want this to be checked or unchecked? I want this to be unchecked since I'm telling people to check the box. I mentioned this in class, but make sure that you don't do something like, do you like mangoes over here on the left side, and then have two check boxes that say yes and no. A checkbox means yes if you have a check mark in there. It means no if you leave it empty. Alright, so be careful with the types of questions you ask when you're using a checkbox. And then finally, I need the text area for the comments. This will be insert, form, text area. The ID will be comments, no label tag. I hit OK. And then all I have to do is come down and set my width and my height. For the number of lines before it starts to scroll, I'll just put 4. And then really that's it. At this point I'll save, Control S, and now I'll put in my buttons. So I come down here to row number 6. I have that extra row for the buttons. I click on Insert, Form, and Button. And this first one will be a send button. And then I click on Insert, Form, and Button again. This time it'll be a clear button. Every time I put in a button, it starts off with the word submit. Alright, that's normal. You need to go in and edit the button. So for the first submit button, the value, I don't want it to read submit, I want it to read send form, and now it reads send form. The action, I'll leave it as submit, and then I'll move on to the second button. This one I will type in clear form for the wording of the button, but more importantly for the action I need that to be reset. Alright, so that when people click on that, it actually resets the form. Again, I'll save it, Control S, and we're almost finished. The last thing I have to do is set the properties for the form, and for that I need to go back out to the website for the form. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the form page, you'll find this code. I'm going to highlight that code and copy it, and then go back into my form and click anywhere inside the form. I'm just going to click right here next to the favorite color drop down menu. Then right above the property inspector we have this little line of HTML tags. Find the one called form and right click on it, and actually you can just left click on it to select it, and then go into the action box and paste in what you just copied. So I'll hit Control V. If you look at what you just pasted, at the end there's an email address, userid@temple.edu. Take out the 6 letters for user ID. Be careful not to erase the question mark or the @ symbol, and instead right in between just type in your user ID. And when you hit enter, your form is complete. So I have this one red box. All of my form components are inside of that red box. You'll notice that I don't have multiple red boxes in there. Alright, so I'll save it one more time, and then I'll go test it out. So I'll preview in Chrome, and when I come down here, I can type in something, and once I put in a bunch of gibberish there, I click on send, and it sends. Alright, so remember, you can play this back, you can pause it, you can rewind it, whatever you need to do, but that's the entire form. Make sure that you don't choose the same questions. Try to go above 5 questions. Alright, you don't want to just stop at the minimum of 5 questions, especially when you have a resource like this video. And make sure that all of your questions relate to your website. Alright, have your form relate to your website. Don't just make up questions like, do you like mangoes? Alright, come up with something unique for your website. Alright, I hope this helps you out a lot. And as usual, if you have questions, just let me know.